There's something watching you right now. Thousands of meters above your head, cameras are recording everything. Every street, every building, every secret. And the strangest part? Anyone can access these recordings. When regular people started actually looking at these images, they found things that shouldn't exist. A 22-year-old mystery solved by a man in his living room. Ancient structures older than pyramids that no one knew about. And one missing person who was visible the entire time. But here's what makes this really unsettling. These weren't found by teams of scientists with million-dollar equipment. They were found by regular people. A housewife looking for a museum. A farmer reviewing old property photos. A biologist who never left his desk. They opened the same maps you can open right now, looked a little closer than everyone else, and stumbled onto discoveries that rewrote history books. The question isn't what they found. The question is, what else is already visible? What's sitting in plain sight on satellite images, waiting for someone to actually notice it? Because right now, 7 discoveries have proven one terrifying truth. We have no idea what's really beneath our feet. Alberta, Canada. A woman named Lynn Hickox sits at her computer. She's not looking for anything mysterious. She just wants directions to a dinosaur museum. So she opens Google Maps and zooms out a little further than planned. That's when she stops breathing. A face is staring back at her from the ground. Not a drawing, not a photograph. An actual face, carved into the earth itself. 250 meters wide. A man's profile. A nose. A chin. A feathered headdress, like an ancient tribal leader. Every detail is anatomically correct. The proportions are perfect. The angles match real human anatomy. But here's the problem. Lynn Hickox is standing in the wrong place to see it. If you actually traveled to this location and stood on that face, you'd see nothing. Just hills, just dirt, just broken terrain and random erosion patterns. The portrait only exists from above, only visible from space, only discoverable if you're looking down from the sky. Geologists have an explanation. Water erosion over thousands of years, they say. Soft clay layers washing away. Random patterns that happen to form a face. Pure coincidence. Except coincidence doesn't create perfect facial proportions. Coincidence doesn't align the distance from eye to nose with human anatomy. Coincidence doesn't create a chin that curves exactly like a real jaw. And coincidence definitely didn't add headphones. An ancient warrior with modern technology, placed there by erosion, staring at the sky, waiting as if it's been watching for centuries. Kent, England, 2022. A team of local archaeologists is doing something that sounds boring. They're looking at satellite images of farmland. Nothing more. Just volunteers examining pixels on a screen. Then one of them notices something. The crops in one field are growing in a pattern. Not randomly, not naturally. The grass is taller in some places, shorter in others. The green is darker where it's denser, lighter where it thins out. To a normal person, it's a farming mistake, bad soil quality, uneven irrigation. To an archaeologist, it means one thing. Something is buried underneath. 50 volunteers start digging. They don't expect much, just curious. Within days, stone walls emerge from the soil, then more walls, then a structure, then something that makes them freeze. A heating system. Not just any heating system. Central heating. In the year 200 AD, under an English farm field, where sheep have been grazing for centuries, the Romans called it a hypocaust. Hot air from a furnace circulating through hollow spaces under the floor. Warm air rising through walls. An entire building heated evenly. In the 2nd century, before medieval Europe even had fireplaces. This villa required something else too. Wealth, constant firewood, workers to maintain the flames. The owner wasn't just rich, they were trading crops to London, maybe to France. Building luxury while most people burned wood in open pits and froze. Then they left, packed everything, abandoned the villa, and for 1500 years it vanished. Not from history books, from existence itself, until someone looked at a photograph from space. Egypt, the Sahara Desert, 1997. Someone took a compass the size of a skyscraper and drew on the sand. 178 cone-shaped mounds arranged in 2 spiraling patterns. Each cone is precisely positioned. The spacing is geometric. The layout is perfect. The entire structure covers 14 football fields. And it was made by hand. 3 Greek artists named Danae Stratou, Alexandra Stratou, and Stella Constantinidis created this. Not for tourists, not for museums, for satellites. For 9 months, construction crews moved 8,000 cubic meters of sand. No payment, all volunteers. All working because they wanted to see their vision come alive from the sky. In the center sat an artificial lake, 30 meters across. It was supposed to feed the sculpture with water. But the artists knew something everyone else didn't. They built this artwork to disappear. Wind slowly erodes the cones. Sand fills the spirals. Every year, the structure fades. In decades, nothing will remain. The artists called it an instrument to measure time. They created something beautiful, knowing it would vanish. Nearly 30 years have passed. The cones are half their original height. The spirals are barely visible. But satellites captured it at its peak, froze it in digital memory. Now it exists forever in pixels, while disappearing from sand. The desert is slowly breathing it away. Jordan, the Black Desert near the Azraq Oasis, 1927. A British pilot named Percy Maitland flies overhead on a mail route. He sees something below. Stone patterns. He writes in his report, "The work of old men." He has no idea how right he is. Nearly a century later, researchers open Google Maps and begin systematically scanning this region. What they find stops them cold. Thousands of stone structures, wheels, actual wheels carved into the earth. Each one a perfect circle, 25 to 70 meters in diameter. Spokes radiating from a center point like a giant wagon wheel. But these aren't wheels for transportation. They're geoglyphs, and they cover an area spanning Syria to Saudi Arabia. Hundreds cluster around the Azraq Oasis alone, all arranged in groups, all perfectly geometric, and all older than anything anyone expected. Scientists used a dating method called optically stimulated luminescence on 2 wheels. The results were staggering. 8,500 years old. Not 5,000, not 3,000. 85 centuries. That's 6,000 years older than the famous Nazca Lines in Peru. But here's what makes archaeologists lose sleep. The wheels aren't random. One group of wheels has spokes pointing in a specific direction, southeast to northwest, precisely aligned to where the sun rises on the winter solstice. 8,500 years ago, people without airplanes built images only visible from the sky. They aligned them to the sun with compass accuracy, and they did this centuries before anyone could possibly see their work from above. Someone knew what they were doing. Someone planned this for an audience they could never reach. But who were they building for? Mozambique, 2012. A biologist named Julian Bayliss sits in front of his computer at Oxford University. He's doing something methodical, scanning satellite images of Eastern Africa, looking for mountains with untouched vegetation, dense forests where humans have never been. He's done this before. Found mountains this way. Discovered entire species no one knew existed. His eyes catch something on Mount Lico, a crater, an ancient volcano crater, 700 meters above the surrounding flatland. Vertical cliffs that fall away like a fortress. And inside that crater, something impossible. A tropical forest, 30 hectares of pure jungle, surrounded by rock walls so steep that no normal person could reach it. For 6 years, Bayliss collects funding, assembles a team, plans an expedition. In May 2018, 28 scientists arrive at Mount Lico. They face one problem. The walls are vertical, 125 meters of straight rock. No stairs, no path, just stone. They climb. At the summit, they step into a world untouched for centuries, maybe longer. The forest has grown here, isolated, since before humans arrived in this region. Trees they've never seen, plants that exist nowhere else. Every step reveals something new. Then they find the clay pots. Upside down, arranged intentionally, placed at the source of a stream flowing down the cliff. Someone climbed this vertical rock. Someone without modern equipment. Someone who reached this impossible place and left offerings to ensure water in the dry season. Who was it? When did they come? How did they climb? No one knows. A biologist found it on a computer. 28 experts had to risk their lives to confirm it was real. The South Pacific, between Australia and New Zealand. Every map shows it. Sandy Island, a landmass the size of Manhattan. Black polygon on Google Maps. Official coordinates, real island. Except it doesn't exist. The story starts in 1876. A whaling ship called the Velocity reports seeing sandbanks in this location. The report goes into the British Admiralty records. Someone transfers it to 20th century databases. Then it gets copied into digital maps. Google Maps picks it up. So does every other mapping service. 136 years. An island that was never there. Existing in pixels. Existing in databases. Existing in data, but nowhere else. In 2012, an Australian research ship passes through those coordinates. The crew measures the water depth, 1,300 meters. Open ocean. No island, no sandbanks, just water. The island vanishes from all official maps. But here's what's disturbing. How many other places on your maps don't actually exist? How many satellite images show things that aren't real? How much of what we trust as documented fact is actually just repeated error? You can navigate by something invisible, believe in something that was never there, and the only way to know the truth is to actually go and check. Kazakhstan, a remote location so isolated that even locals rarely visit. On the southern shore of an artificial reservoir, satellites captured something that made the internet explode. A pentagram. A perfect five-pointed star inside a circle, 366 meters in diameter, surrounded by nothing. No roads, no buildings, no signs of civilization for kilometers in any direction. Within hours, the internet fractured into two camps. The first saw satanic ritual ground zero, dark ceremonies, occult worship, evil captured from space. The second saw a secret military base, government experiments, hidden agendas. Someone even placed markers on the map. 2 points labeled Adam and Lucifer. Then the markers disappeared. The ability to zoom in that area was restricted. The conspiracy deepened. But archaeologist Emma Usmanova had spent a decade in this region. She knew something everyone else didn't. The Pentagram was a park. Soviet era, built in the shape of the Soviet star, one of the USSR's most important symbols. Constructed when Kazakhstan was part of the Soviet Union. Abandoned when the country gained independence in 1991. The trees that lined the pathways grew for 30 years. The benches rotted. The structure decayed, but the outline remained clear from above. Clear enough that satellites read it as intentional geometry. Clear enough that the internet read it as intentional evil. Reality had woven itself so tightly with imagination that only someone who visited in person could separate them. The truth was hiding in plain sight, just not the truth anyone expected. November 1997. A 40-year-old mortgage broker named William Moldt leaves a nightclub around midnight. He's not drunk, he's just leaving. He calls his girlfriend, says he'll be home soon, hangs up. He never arrives. 22 years. That's how long William Moldt's family waits without answers. Police search. Investigators question witnesses. They check routes. They review every possible lead. Nothing. No car. No body. No phone signal. No surveillance footage. No trace that William Moldt ever existed after that phone call. He simply vanishes from the face of the earth. In August 2019, a man named Barry Fay opens Google Maps. He used to live in the area. He's just feeling nostalgic, looking at his old neighborhood, the houses, the pools, the familiar streets. His eye catches a pond, Moon Bay Pond. There's a white spot in the water, too uniform for a rock, too large for garbage, something that shouldn't be there. He calls a neighbor. They launch a drone. The drone confirms what seems impossible. A car, submerged, white sedan, sitting on the bottom in plain sight. August 28, 2019. Police arrive. Divers descend. They pull up a 1994 Saturn. The body is calcified, covered in silt. The deposit buildup on the metal suggests years in water. Many years. 2 weeks later, dental records confirm it. It's William Moldt. For 12 years, William Moldt was visible on Google Maps. A white pixel in a pond. He was there the entire time. Visible, documented, captured by satellites. People walked past that pond, fished in it, had barbecues nearby, played with children meters away from a car containing human remains. The answer to a 22-year mystery was sitting in a database that anyone could access. It just took someone looking, really looking, at the right moment, at the right place. The police had resources the entire county couldn't deploy for 2 decades. A man in his living room solved it in moments. All he did was pay attention to something everyone else overlooked. 7 discoveries. 7 stories. 7 times ordinary people did what experts couldn't. A housewife found a giant's face. Farmers uncovered Roman luxury. Volunteers discovered art designed to disappear. Biologists located lost worlds. A man solved a 22-year mystery by looking at a pond. None of these required million-dollar equipment. None required secret government satellites. None required credentials or PhDs or research teams. They required one thing: attention. Right now, satellites are capturing everything. Every meter of land, every corner of ocean, every detail of the world we think we know. And somewhere in that data, discoveries are already documented, already visible, already waiting. An archaeologist named Sarah Parcak found 17 pyramids and 3,000 ancient settlements in Egypt using the same free satellite data you can access. She called herself a space archaeologist, won a TED Prize for it, used no secret equipment, just looked harder than everyone else. The question isn't what's already been found, the question is what you're going to find. Because while you're watching this, satellites are still recording, and somewhere on those images, there's a discovery that will rewrite history, or solve a mystery, or reveal something that changes everything. Maybe it's under your town, maybe it's in your state, maybe it's waiting in a location you've walked past 1,000 times. The only difference between you and every person in this video is one simple choice. Are you actually going to look?